I don't know if you have these feelings of like, man, I'm in this place right now where I thought things would be different than what they really are. And I think that resonates for a lot of us. I think many of us come to those places in life, and we're at a place where we wonder, could things have been different? I wish things had been different. So if I wrote this out, I thought by now blank, what would you fill that blank in with? How would you fill in that blank? I thought by now blank. Here's some things I've heard. I thought by now I would have my teenagers figured out. Good luck on that one. Actually, I was said in first service, we had a family gathering. My son graduated from PA school in December, and so we were in Knoxville area, and all the kids were there, and we're kind of just, and they're all adults now. I don't have teenagers anymore. They're all adults, and they're all sitting around playing cards and laughing and talking about things, and as they get older, they get more comfortable in sharing their teenage experience, to the point that mom and I are like, okay, we don't want to hear anymore. We don't even want to. You did what? What? When did you do that? We thought we knew, but we really didn't know. Yeah. I thought by now my marriage wouldn't be so much work. I thought by now I'd be out of debt and have money in the bank. I thought by now I'd have a six-pack abs. Six-pack abs. I thought by now I would have gotten sober. I thought by now my porn addiction would be a thing of the past. I thought by now I would have had a successful career. I thought by now I wouldn't still feel so betrayed and angry at my husband or at my wife or at that friend. I thought by now I'd be happy. And this list can go on and on. These are just a few of the ones that I've heard over the last couple of years. I thought by now blank. A couple of questions I think we need to ask ourselves if we're in this I thought by now kind of moment, or we're thinking. You think of your life as this timeline. You're on this journey, and you're in this moment today. Okay, we're here today. Today is unique. It's never happened before, and it can never happen again. And so some question to ask ourselves in this moment that we're in, whether you had these thoughts of, I wish that things would be so much different. First question to ask ourselves is, how did I get to where I currently am? Like if I'm in this timeline of life and I'm here, how did I get here? Right here. What experiences, what decisions, what choices did I make along the way that got me to this place where I am right now? That's an important question to ponder for us, because for us to change the future, for us to go in a different direction in the future, we have to understand where we've been, what we've done, how we've accomplished, all the things that we've accomplished, and what all that put together has brought us to this one place where we stand right now. How did I get here? Now, we also have to be very careful with this particular question, because too often the way we answer it in a very simplistic way is we say, well, like we blame others. Well, if my parents hadn't done this, if my parents had supported me more, then I wouldn't be here. If my wife hadn't cheated on me, then I wouldn't be here. If God would have just come through with my prayers, I wouldn't be at this place. It's easy for us to be in a moment in time, look at our circumstances, and then say, well, it's their fault. It's their fault. It's their fault. So we have to be careful. How did I get to where I am right now? The second question to ask ourselves is, how do I get to where I want to be? So again, you're in this timeline of life and you're looking back, but you're also looking ahead. How do I get to where I want to go? There's a preferable future for me. There's something that I want to see accomplished in my life. There's a kind of life that I want to live. And for us, the context is in your discipleship and becoming more and more like Jesus. Where do you want to be? And what's interesting is these two questions are very important, but the answer to both of these questions is the same answer. It's one decision at a time. One choice at a time. That's how you got to where you are, and that's how you're going to get to where you want to be. One decision at a time. I used to say this all the time. The most spiritual thing you could do is not pray, not read your Bible, not fast. The most spiritual thing you could do is make a righteous choice, make a decision. because these decisions have a way of shifting your direction. See, life is a sum of all of our decisions. We know that. We understand that. That's not brain surgery. We understand this stuff, right? That life, the whole of life is this accumulation of tens of thousands of decisions along the way that gets us to the place that we're at right now. The Bible kind of refers to this as the law of sowing and reaping. In Galatians 6, it says this, do not be deceived. God cannot be mocked. Like, don't think that you can pull the wool over on God. Like, God can't be deceived. God can't be mocked. A man reaps what he sows. And so as we talk about the decisions that we make along the way, the choices that we get that have got us to this place, the choices that are going to get us to where we want to go, we need to think of these in the context of like planting seeds, sowing seeds. And so if you sow a seed of discord, you're going to reap a harvest of discord. If you sow a seed of peace and forgiveness, then you're going to reap a harvest of peace and forgiveness. See, the law of sowing and reaping, and I'm expanding that definition to be to the decisions that you and I make, that we've made and that we're making along the way. The law of sowing and reaping works for you and it works against you. And it's all based on the choices that you make along the way. So it's one decision at a time is how a marriage fails. It's also one decision at a time is how a marriage heals. It's one decision at a time is how you got into debt. And you know what I'm talking about. Like, you look at your credit card statement at the end of the month, like, where did that all come from? Well, it's like, 1,500 different little swipes, right? Each one was a single decision that was made. One decision at a time is how you got into debt, and it's one decision at a time is how you're going to get out of debt. If your goal is to get in shape, it was one decision at a time that got you out of shape. Okay? Like you said, I want to be in shape in 2022. I'm going to be fit in 2022, but first I'm going to stop by Burger King and get that double Whopper with cheese. And that didn't feel like much. So a couple days later, you do it again. And next thing you know, it's like a routine. You do it every day, and you don't think much because it's just that one decision, but it's one decision at a time to get you there. It's also going to be one decision at a time that's going to get you healthy again. So the question is, what seeds are you planting in 2022?